Hey guys, Maxomatic here, and today you'll be looking at my top 10 least favorite zones in World of Warcraft. Number 10 is the boring tundra, and nicknamed the boring tundra because it's so boring. The questing there is pretty bad, the data stuff is kind of dumb. The Nexus is the only really good instance about it. And Howling Fjord is better if you're a new player going in World Trend. I suggest go to the Fjord instead of boring tundra. Valiant's Keep and Warsong Hold are cool though. I like how they did that. Yeah, and this is the first zone I went to when I was Northrend, so that's why it's number 10 on my list. Number 9 is the Eastern Plaguelands. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Plaguelands, both Eastern and Western Plaguelands, but I like Western and I prefer it better than the Eastern Plaguelands. The instances are good on Eastern Plaguelands, and it was a big popular spot to get ganked in vanilla WoW. But the Lich King's there, which I also like, but it's just really not my style. I was ganked when my Blood Elf ran through here to get to Hillsbred Foothill a lot. So that's why it just kind of wrecked it for me. Number 8 is Ungoro Crater. In Ungoro Crater, there are too many mobs, and I just don't really like that because I'm always getting aggroed by all those mobs. The quests are pretty dumb, like the Ballad of Maximilian or whatever. That one's really stupid. And when I first got here, I came from Tannerus, and I couldn't find the path, so I ended up jumping down into the big gap, and I died. And the jungle is kind of dumb. I like Feralus and Stranglethorn Bill, but this is just not my style, not at all. Number 7 is Zoldrak. And the reason I hate Zoldrak so much is because of the stupid trolls. I'm really not a big fan of trolls. I have 0 troll characters, and I just never been a huge fan of trolls. And the questing is kind of bad. It's okay, not one of the worst, not as bad as Ungoro Crater. But the zone is really confusing to get around, and you're gonna really need to rely on your map for that one. I don't, but just rely on your map, folks. Number 6 is Deathless. Now with Deathless, it's just very boring. It's just nothingness and nothingness. The questing is boring, and nobody really quests there anymore because of level scaling, which, thankfully, because it saved me from questing there, and I just really don't like it. The mountains are cool, but I'm just not a huge fan of Deathless. No one really is. Number 5 is Hellfire Peninsula. It actually looks like literal hell, so the name is good. It's a big zone full of basically nothing but mobs, and the Dark Portal, which is pretty cool. The questing isn't that great. There's many Easter eggs hidden throughout the zone. Honor Hole is the only really decent thing here, and the sky looks pretty cool too. You can see the planets. I really enjoyed the sky, but overall this zone is nothing to brag about. Number 4 is Syphilis, and Syphilis, Blizzard made it have a point in Battle for Azeroth, which I thought was very smart, and I thought that was a great idea. But in the original Syphilis, it was kind of crap. It literally was terrible. The bugs were terrible. I really hate buggy zones. It's just a really ugly zone in particular. Encourage is the only really decent thing about it. And there's lots of running around to do quests. The Twilight quests were annoying. It just really wasn't my cup of tea, and I don't think it was anyone's really cup of tea. Number 3 is the Ghostlands, and what to say, it's just basically a ripoff of Duskwood, but it's a horde zone. I remember playing as my Blood Elf and going here, and I getting killed by those damn Mistbats, which they're just ridiculous. I would always aggro them somehow, and then I would always dismount, and they would just be so annoying. And before I quested here before I even had a mount too, which was even more annoying. I played as a paladin, and then these links were also a pain. They were just so annoying, and I just don't go to Ghostlands unless you have. Number 2 is Bloodmist Isle, and I came in here with really high expectations because the zone looks cool, but the questing freaking sucked. It literally was terrible. I don't know. It just really wrecked Bloodmist Isle for me. I had to run from Azura Isle to Bloodmist Isle as my Grand Eye, and it's just so annoying. Just don't go here. The questing is terrible. It's just very annoying. But Lando, the Hippogriff Master, he's a cool guy. Number 1 is Blade's Edge Mountains, and this is by far the worst zone in World of Warcraft. It literally is terrible. The spikes are bad, the questing is bad, all of it's bad. It's not an Outland, which is a zone where I don't really like questing an Outland, but it's just terrible. I really don't like it. The quests are probably the most annoying thing about this zone. The flying is also annoying because you're constantly getting hit by these spikes. But Tashley Station, this is the only decent part about it. And because I like gnome areas, and gnome areas are pretty cool. thank you for watching. Sorry about the bad microphone audio, but yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and okay, and I'm not gonna do that. Just leave a like if you liked it, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.